got oud? Are you curious about oud? Is it something that you're scared of or you've shied away from and you don't know much about it? Well, I'm gonna give you my three favorite oud beginner fragrances, meaning your introduction where you're not quite ready to go full on oud, like an oud centric fragrance, but one that has oud and you can smell it, but it blends well. Find out what my top three are coming up next. Welcome back, everybody, to Joel the Nose, and thank you all for watching. Just a friendly reminder, if you like this video, you can like it, you can share it, and if you're not already following me, please hit the subscribe button. I'd love to have you part of the Joel the Nose community. All right, let's get right into this. Today's video here from Osme Perfumery in Miami is 3 great oud fragrances for oud beginners, oud virgins, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people, and I was just talking to some people here, some of one of my subscribers I've known for a long time here, and I see him all the time here at Osme, and he was saying that he still hasn't quite gotten into like maybe an all-out oud fragrance, you know, something like by Ramon Monegal, like Alhambra Oud, for example, is an example of a really strong, stinky oud. Boadicea makes some really strong, stinky oud fragrances. If you love oud and you're not afraid of that kind of stinky oud smell, those are ones to check out. But these are for everyday use for someone who's like, okay, I'm curious about oud, but I want to take baby steps into it. And so let's get right into this. Probably one of the most famous, and even though the name is right in it, to me this is a really baby step, soft launch, soft landing, whatever you want to call it, and that is Oud for Greatness. Oud for Greatness from Initio. You know, it's probably one of their best sellers, extremely popular fragrance, and you would think, okay, Oud for Greatness is going to be something that literally is like oud in your face, and it is not. You know, if the main notes as they list them are natural oud wood, agar wood, which is that's the actual, basically the wood that this oud sap comes from. So you get kind of 2 full, well-rounded ouds: lavender, saffron, patchouli, and like a white musk. So that white musk gives it this kind of cleaner, softer element, and the saffron really gives it this kind of like sweet spiciness that I think just absolutely nails it. Oud for Greatness is probably one of the very first oud fragrances that I got into, maybe, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, when I was like getting more into oud at that point. And it was just, you know, one of those fragrances, perfect for men or women. So if ladies, if you're watching this video, this is, all 3 of these are unisex I'm going to tell you about today, but this one, don't be scared even if you are a woman and you're like, oud, because I see a lot of times, you know, I'll see comments when I'm talking to friends of mine that are women and they're just kind of like really scared about oud. So, Oud for Greatness, again, I love that kick of saffron, just gives it that sweet, almost oriental element with that cleanness of the musk, that white musk, which I love. And again, the agar wood and the oud oil. So you have the sap from the oud and you have the oud from the tree. So well blended, just, it's a masterpiece. All right, next. This one is from the House of Montale, and it may not be one that a lot of people are familiar with, but I think, again, it's one of the great first steps into oud, and this is Oud Pashmina. Oud Pashmina. Really cool, deep purple bottle that just screams elegance, right? You look at this bottle, I love it, sitting there. And so this is another one. Let me just kind of spray it here. Oh man, I really like this. So this one to me has a little bit more of the oud smell than say Oud for Greatness. I mean, meaning that it just sticks its head out a little bit more through the rest of the notes. But if you look at the notes, again, they list very simple ones. Oud, actually agarwood, rose, vanilla, and like a gray or white musk. So what's very interesting about this one is the oud, combines itself with rose. So for those of you who are not familiar with a lot of notes that complement oud well, rose is probably the most common. If you go out and look at any of these oud fragrances, I would venture to guess probably 60% or 70% of the fragrances that have oud in it combine it with rose. And that's what this to me is a great oud rose scent. It is a dry rose. It's not a too sweet rose. Some rose fragrances to me, especially the ones that lean a bit more feminine, come off a little bit too sweet. This is more of that dry rose, probably more of the Turkish rose, or even maybe the rose de Mai or from Grasse, France. This is that kind of powdery, and it just, again, don't be scared of the oud. The oud in here is just so subtle. It's soft, it's subtle, and it blends so well with that rose. Love it. And by the way, for the price point, 100 milliliters for a Montal is still under $200. So with ever increasing prices all around, that is a great value, because I think the oud for greatness is, I know it's in the 300s. I think it's high 300s now. So, when you're looking at things, obviously prices is a factor that you got to consider. And that's going to leave me with my last choice, and actually my number one choice, and that is going to be Oud Symphony from Precious Liquid. Oud Symphony Precious Liquid. The founder, creator, and perfumer of the brand, Richard Herpen. The legendary Richard Herpen, who's done amazing fragrances for over 20 years, including Oud Wood from Tom Ford. He's had some major hits in the industry, in the fragrance world. His own brand, Precious Liquid. If you follow my channel, you see me talk about this house before. I love it. It's such an approachable house. It's such a wearable house. I think because he comes from the designer world, again, doing stuff for Tom Ford and a lot of other designer houses, I think he brings this kind of very mass appealing quality to the niche world. And sometimes I think that's, again, very important, because if you're not totally into niche and experimental stuff, or super niche, or as they call now, ultra niche, this would be the kind of, I would call intro niche, or, baby niche, if you want to say it. And that's why Oud Symphony, I think, stands out, because you're going to get to wear a nice oud fragrance here that's not going to just rock your world. And let me put it on here to spray it. What I like about this one, it combines a number of kind of fruity elements. You have passion fruit, you have rum, black currant, you have jasmine, of course rose. So that oud rose combination, you're going to see it in almost every rose or oud fragrance. Patchouli, honey, tonka bean. But this, unlike Oud Pashmina, which is definitely a classic oud rose combination, the rose in here, it's much more subdued. So this one, it's that passion fruit really jumps out at the beginning. It gets this nice juicy quality, this nice juicy, fruity, luscious element. It feels like biting into a, for those of you who know, who've ever had a mango, in Florida we have them here, and when it's mango season, these things just, they're red and green and beautiful colors, and they're just so lush. And that kind of reminds me of just biting into a lush, fruity mango, even though mango's not the scent here. I'm just using it as an example. Think of passion fruit. So this is, so nice. It's funny because I'd forgotten about this one for a while. And when I was thinking of this video, and I started looking around, are the oud scents that I really like. Immediately when I saw it, I'm like, how could I forget about Oud Symphony? It's such a great fragrance, and that's why I have it number one. And look at the juice. A lot of his juices, he does color it so it has this type of blue hue to it. He adds some type of material in there because a lot of his fragrances have that same kind of color. So it's almost like a branding for Precious Liquid. So there you have it. my top 3 favorite beginner oud fragrances. There are so many more. In fact, I was thinking I may even do another video because there's so many great options here that just cutting it down to 3 is very difficult. But I wanted to mention 3 that I absolutely love. So there you have it. All right, I'll be back soon with another video. Thank you guys for watching. Again, if you don't follow me already, I'd love to have you follow me and subscribe. And remember, don't be a wimp. Spray like a pimp. You know the rule. Don't be a wimp. Spray like a pimp.